I push record for you, love.
Thank
Since you in your passenger seat. And don't do. Does anybody else have a wife that when they get in the passenger seat they don't do nothing? Like the most baby do is play her tap. She can't even be a good co-pilot. I'll be trying to find out where we going. I'm like, babe, can you load the GPS? No.
Just drive the car and let me just exist. Let me exist. That's
your. But I understand that's your resting.
Yeah.
Because of the different things you do at the home.
Once I hop out the car, then I'm
you
back
be in
on.
relaxed mode. You be like a child. It's like baby in a car seat. You in an adult car seat. That's what you are. You over here while I'm back here yelling and getting into feel like I'm in court with these kids being a judge, lawyer, and attorney at the same time.
I'm just gonna let you do it. I'm about to look out the window at all the wonders that God has made.
You do
as
that.
The gifts that God has given me harass my husband.
There it is. What were we talking about with the cigarettes? Like all you flip it over, it got all that stuff in it. I was saying that. Yeah. I was saying because we was talking about like
how long people live.
How long people live, and like back in the day, how it wasn't all these different diseases that we have now, like lung cancer and all that other stuff. But then my beautiful wife brought up that they had leprosy back then. You did have to worry about that.
They had some stuff. They had afflictions.
And they did. This tobacco was still there. Wine was still there because, of course, there was I don't know who that is. Wine was still there. So alcoholism, people were still getting drunk. Yeah. Biblically, in the biblical days, people were still getting drunk, having these wild parties, all these Nephilims.
But what we were saying was they added all that horribleness. I'm like, why they add all of these deadly things to cigarettes?
Correct.
Like they literally put Satan inside a cigarette.
That's what instead of what's that Surgeon's General warning?
Yeah.
You just need to flip it over and like the warning needs to say may contain Satan. I'm good. I don't want that.
I don't want it.
I don't want that. I don't want that. What type of bourbon is this?
What's just tobacco?
What's just tobacco? Are this part going or not?
I don't know.
Are
they said they decided they don't want
it. Okay, well I'm gonna let I tried to get good Samaritan today.
But and then
no, let me get over. I don't want to get them people wet.
Yeah. It's a nice rainy day, y'all. So we are going to discuss some stuff that is actually relevant to the family and lawn care. So one of the questions I had was, do you ever feel like if you knew all of what you had to go through up until now?
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
If you knew what you had to go through up until now, that you would still go for West Lawn Care?
Yeah.
Like the bad winters, the hard times?
I would, because to be honest with you, the stress is real, and the heartache and all it's rainy, you don't want to do that. The heartache and the stress of it is real, but the strongest thing is the goal. Yeah. The goal is seeing the business succeed. I mean, it's no different from, Jesus when he was getting ready to die in the stake. He didn't want to do it, but he said, Lord, if this is your will.
Yeah.
So he knew that it was going to hurt him, but there was a greater deed coming out of it.
We're not comparing ourselves to
we're not at all, but we're just saying, like, I know that even going through this, even going through the winters and like having to get clients and wanting to get more higher paying commercial clients, it's still worth it because we're trying to set up a legacy. It's always going to hurt being the first.
Yeah.
It's always going to hurt being the first. So we're setting up the first business for the family. Mm-hmm. And so we got to go through it so that way we can just be like, here. So, but yeah, I would still do it. I know I've had plenty of conversations with you about quitting because, where I was mentally and pretty much doing it by myself in the field, not in the office, but in the field. I mean, it's tough. But at the end of the day, I would feel more hurt if I went back into the workforce. Because if the minute something goes wrong at that job, at that corporate job, I'm like, man,
I should have. Yeah. Yeah. I found being totally transparent, building off of what you said, like when you put what your job has been for the last 4 years,
I'm gonna fix this camera.
That you've worked for yourself for the last 4 years.
Oh, slide in here, girl. I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
No, you good? Yeah, lean over here. Yeah, lean with it. Rock with it.
When you put that down on your resume, you know, and in winter months when I would try to find part-time work or you would try to find part-time work, it was like, I don't want nothing to do with no entrepreneur. You'd be like, because you're not going to take direction. Like, you own your own business. I don't know if that's what they think, but that's what I assume they think.
That's what you're saying.
That's what I assume, and that's only because they don't really give me a reason. Whenever those few times I did, especially the first winter, I was applying to everything. And,
everything?
Everything. And you were applying to a lot of stuff.
All the Spider-Man's day?
All of them. And so, yeah. And it was like, no, they not. Even if my information, my resume stuff was relevant, you know, it's like they want to know that you know how to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So.
And I feel with you too, because even when I was doing it, I had to realize that let me take off CEO. Let me take it. So I would reduce that. I mean, it's cool to
manager.
Yeah, it's cool to put that on a resume.
Right.
If you're
because that's what
about
you are.
leaving,
you're not lying.
That's what you are to your own business.
Yeah.
But if you were trying to make yourself more approachable to another job, so I just had to reduce it to manager and still keep all the titles and duties and responsibilities. It looks more.
It's more palatable.
It's more palatable. Thank you. But no, I would. So let me ask you, because I don't really ask you questions. I'm trying to see, keep it in relation to mom
and family.
And family.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one for you.
Okay.
And then you start thinking of yours.
I got to think about this answer.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
How do you balance being a father, a husband, a business owner, and all that entails, and being a good family member and friend? How do you balance doing that and finding time for hobbies and the things that God has called you to?
It's not hard. It's not hard. In addition to excluding being tired, it's not hard, because once you wear multiple titles, you have to become that person. Sometimes you have to be both titles at the same time. I'm always gonna be a father. I'm always gonna be a husband. I'm always gonna be a Christian. But when it's time to do those different things, it's like you just do it.
Yeah.
Dylan wants to play, Ari wants to play, Natalie wants to play.
I want to play.
You want to play, you want to watch movies and do whatever the situation is. My brother wants to see me, my cousin wants to see me. You separate those times and you talk about what's going on. Like, okay, cool, this is going on Monday. We got this coming over. My brother coming over. Our cousins coming over. It's not difficult.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. It may seem strenuous because you're thinking with that tired mindset. Like, if I'm done, I done did 6 hours for the day, and it's summer. It's like, I know the minute I walk in that door, I'm tired, but I still gotta be a husband. Like, I'm done with being a technician.
Right.
But now I gotta be a father, and now I gotta be a husband.
Yeah.
And so it's easy because I remember sometimes, and I can relate to it, sometimes when I was a child, like, I'm excited to see my dad come home from work, like how the kids are now.
Yeah.
And then just kind of getting like that stale hug. Kind of getting like that, I've been working all day hug. I can't take your excitement. Yeah. And there's been times I've done it to my own children. Yeah. But it's like the child, DeAndre, comes in and be like, hey man, turn around. Yeah. Because I don't know we don't know what's going to make a memory in our child's mind when we're tired, when we yell at them, when we're frustrated, when we're trying to teach them a lesson or whatever. We don't know what's going to stick. But so I think I'm going off on a tangent.
No, it's relevant.
Yeah,
it's relevant.
We don't know what's going to stick, man. But as long as you can kind of go back in your childhood and just remember how it felt just to get a hug from your mom or from your dad when your emotions are high, and at the end of the day, it's like your child just really wants that embrace. At the end of the day, my wife just wants an embrace. At the end of the day,
hugs disarm me.
Hugs disarm.
If I were walking through the day with like guns and armor and a helmet and everything, hugs, a genuine hug. It melts me.
A genuine hug. Yeah. For me, it's like knowing I can come back home to you, because once again, like we've told our cousin, like we told my brother, it's like I know that I have a best friend in you. So it's like I'm coming home to my best friend. I'm coming home to my wife, and so that's what makes me want to come home. Yeah. It's not like I'm, all right, well, I done stayed out as long as I could. Let me go home. Let me go home
before she get angry.
Right, because there's multiple things that we enjoy together.
That's true.
And so
house flipper,
music, playing game, music. We're back recording again, and that's actually how we met before we even became friends. I mean, we met.
I found out he had some sort of recording software
we met because of
in
music.
his basement in high school. Yeah. And I was always singing and writing. Yeah. And I was like, well, let me get this out.
And I was making horrible beats.
It wasn't horrible. It was beginner beats.
Those beats were waste management. They were straight trash. But everything's gonna be treasured because it's yours. It's something you created. Yeah. Just for me to hear something that I created coming from beatboxing or drumming on a desk with a number 2 pencil. As I get off subject again, one of the best sounds for a hi-hat would either be those mechanical pencils, but the mechanical pencils would be kind of soft. The ones when you take the top, and you gotta take the eraser off and put the lead in, those mechanical pencils. Yeah. Or the paper mate pens. Yeah. The ones that was white but had like a blue cap or like a black cap. Yep. Man, you get that metal top banging on that cement desk.
Cement? What kind of cement desk?
What type of desk you was going to school at? See, Rockdale had both of them. They had, as I put up my cousin hand, the Asher hand, Rockdale had both of them. Long story short, we had both of them. You had the cement top or with ceramic top, or you had them old school slave desks when you had to put the books on the bottom. But everybody's gum from the 70s, 50s, and 60s, and 40s was up underneath it.
Like that.
And so I want to be part of history too.
So you put yours
So I put mine there.
Yes.
All right?
Dre was here.
Exactly. Let that gum let you know.
Yeah. No, you said.
But yeah, man.
But that answers my question. It was basically how to balance it, and to you it's easy.
It's easy.
And it reminds me of what...
What about you? Let me cut you off. What about you with balancing being a mom and being a manager of being the front end of the calls and picking up the kids, dropping them off, and being there for your sisters, being there for your mom at what we got. I'm not going to mention it, but what we got going on now. Yeah. Like what is that mind state? Just on a day.
Yeah. Most of the time, in the morning, I start with prayer. I start with prayer and Bible study because not only do I want to get closer to God, but I want Him to have my day.
I can do anything from Christ who strengthens me. Oh!
I want to feel, and so I say that because it's not always easy. Just yesterday, you and I, we were kind of stressed out in the morning.
Yeah, that day, the whole day for me was just bad. And I mentioned that once we got home, we was cooking dinner. I'm like, this day was just...
It was sensitive. It was a sensitive day.
Sensitive day.
And so it's not easy, and it becomes something where it's like, okay, this thing is big, but it's not bigger than God.
Right.
So I start my day trying to say what's up to my daddy, my heavenly daddy.
Hey, what's up, cuz?
Father?
Up, Heavenly
Daddy?
Father, cuz? Hey, amen. Amen, God. Amen.
And I think also doing my little workouts for me in the morning helps, because it gives me a little bit of me time before everything starts coming in. You know, once it's time to get the babies up, a lot of times you take over when you see I'm doing my workout. You let me have my time. You let me have my time. And you'll make sure the babies get their clothes on.
I'm trying to help you get on these pull-ups.
Shut up. So we work together. When I see Dre's tired or Dre's doing something, or then I'll step in, and then when he sees I'm tired, then when you see I'm tired, you step in, and it's a good team. It's a good team. So how I'm able to balance it is God. That's all of that to say. How I'm able to balance it is God, because I do struggle. I can't lie. I do struggle, because most of the time, just emotionally, I am tired.
Yeah, and then in addition to what you're
kids,
saying,
they have their own emotions.
3 kids and 2 autistic.
And 2 autistic babies, 2 beautiful girls on the spectrum, and their emotions are big, and their tantrums are big, and their questions and their yells are big. And so because they have big emotions like their parents, but if you add sensory concerns and a different mental path with that, then you got Natalie and Ari. Okay?
Does that make it look better?
I don't know. I don't know. It
makes it look bright. It look a little hazy.
Yeah, but yeah, so we're able to do it thanks to God. That's the only way. Like, that's the only way we're able to make it through every single day. But I also stopped thinking so much in the future. There's a lot of times that I'm planning, because I'm a planner, and I like to plan. But there's some places in life where I just really have to stay right here in this actual second, in this moment. Because if I think about everything I have to do, I'll become overwhelmed and I'll be no good. So it's God, and then realizing how my brain works through therapy and through finding out my characteristics and things. And what makes me tick is like, okay, I like to plan, but it's not always good for me to have A through Z.
Don't plan to where you stress.
I'm stressed now because I'm thinking about what I got to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in addition to what you're saying, I think I had mentioned, we had mentioned this in the car yesterday when we was late picking up Natalie.
Yeah. That was really
just remind yourself consistently, the couples out there, just remind yourself that, hey, I'm on a team.
Yeah.
And then we wasn't yelling, but tempers were high, and we have to remind ourselves when the other person's like, hey man, you kind of out of character right now.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we on the same team.
Yes.
Because sometimes, because we are married and we are close, it can feel like, hey, like, are you what are you doing? Like, sometimes you can feel like you're against your teammate.
Oh.
But it's like, at the end of the day, for the sports fans out there, you ain't gonna never see Shaq block a shot from Kobe and be like, give me the ball, I want to dunk it.
I want to do it.
And you ain't gonna never be like, see Travis Kelce be like, no man, I'm quarterbacking right now.
Yeah.
No, play your position.
Yeah.
Be a teammate.
Yeah.
Just be a teammate. Yeah. And I guess if I can go back to the basketball, don't block your teammate's shot.
And in addition, when you're going through all of what life brings, and you're taking the good moments and you're trying to soak them up, and you know the bad moments you're trying to just weather through, we also have to remember that it's the team against the problem.
It's team
not
against the problem.
You against me.
Hey,
even if we don't agree.
All that out there,
yeah,
can stay out there.
Yeah.
But what come in right here?
Yes.
Look, back to back.
Yes.
We John Wick in it.
Yes.
I'm
and
Neo.
Mr.
You Trina.
Smith.
Like,
Trinity.
Yes. Look, we miss her. Like, I don't like let
the baddest be into the.
Yeah, and protect your home. Hey,
That can't come over here.
You can't come up. Not today.
No.
Not today. You ain't being rude. You ain't being disrespectful. You gotta protect your home.
Yeah.
Protect your home, man, and just like, okay, cool. Just keep. Let your home be a fortress.
Yeah.
I tell Brittany, like, sometimes I won't say it's an argument, but it's like the things we do. We're like, look, I'd rather us argue about bills being paid than something else.
Yeah. Or no, you say you'd rather us argue about doing things for each other. Sometimes we'll try to lighten the other significant other's load. You know, we'll be thinking about each other, but then the other person is
I'm
doing
trying
the
to take
same
weight
thing.
off of her. She's trying to take weight off of me.
So we like, let me do it.
We
I'm
get
like,
into
no,
a little
I got
spat. I'm like, but if I told you I was already doing it, why you doing it? You need to go sit down.
And then sometimes I just be like, okay. And I'm like Smokey off of Friday.
Look,
be like, when he leave, I'll be talking again.
I'll be folding clothes again. I'll be taking care of the kids. I'll be giving them body.
But no, because when you're a team, you know when your teammate is running on E.
Right.
Whether it be a romantic relationship or a friendship or family, like, you know when your significant other or your loved one is running on E.
You ain't no help to me on the field with a broke ankle.
Right.
Everybody not Patrick Mahomes.
Right. So,
but then again,
sometimes you gotta just sit your behind down. Sit down.
Go sit down.
Go lay down. Go lay down.
Go sit down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be comfortable with relying on your spouse. Okay, I'm gonna say this.
Trust has to come with that.
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
Be comfortable with relying on your friend.
Yes, your friend.
At the end of the day, that's my friend.
Yeah.
Brittany is my friend. Yeah. And then whether we argue about something, at the end of the day, I want to be right with my friend.
Yes. Because our intention.
So we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about it in that way. So when your intention is to be cool with your friend, that's your intention. Then you speak to the person in a way of like, hey, this is a concern, but my intention is for us to be cool.
Yeah.
Now, if your intention is to be right, you know it's going to go a totally different way. When my intention is to be right, like I want to feel right, I want to be heard, and I want to be right, then the concerns and the speech is going to come across a different way.
I want to be right. I want to dominate the conversation.
Right.
I want to be the. I want to exalt the authority.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not being heard.
Right. So now I'm about to be loud.
So now you got to be louder than other people. But just speak to your friend.
Yeah. But
talk to your friend, man.
If your true intention is to make sure the relationship is okay, then you got to make sure you don't get out of pocket. You know, you gotta try your best. Try your best. Because I know it's all a learning curve.
And be vulnerable.
Yes.
You can't. I know for me, speaking for myself, especially in our 20s, I was not vulnerable. I always say it like this. I've told a couple of people, why is it easy to get naked and have sex, but it's difficult to talk about feelings?
Right.
It's easy to be vulnerable in the flesh.
Yeah.
Because you know you're getting something out of the deal.
Right.
But it's hard to be vulnerable about your feelings because you can possibly get hurt again.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
So, but learn to be vulnerable, and because I had to be vulnerable with Brittany on a lot of things that made it okay for me to go, okay, well let me talk about this some more. Let me talk about this some more. And then again, you're only gonna talk about what you feel is, I don't want to say trustworthy. What you feel comfortable about,
with
I
that
guess,
person.
with that person.
Yeah, you're not gonna bring up to your, parents, as an example. You're not gonna be like, well, let me tell you about my sex life.
Exactly.
Most parent-child relationships don't have that type of openness.
And then sometimes it takes that barrier. Sometimes you can walk around the barrier, you can jump over the barrier, you can ignore the barrier, but it's like there's still a barrier.
And you're not saving anybody.
You're not
saving anybody by holding it in.
You're not saying
people still feel the energy.
Because you're gonna let it out some type of way.
Anybody who's slightly empathetic, anybody who's slightly observational, anybody who has a little bit of intellect emotionally is gonna sense something wrong. Something's wrong.
You're gonna let it out some way.
And it's going to show. You're gonna make somebody suffer. So talk about it.
You're gonna go cut somebody's yard wrong. You're gonna go edge it wrong. Somebody's hedge is gonna be towed up. You're gonna put out too much application on weed control.
Oh, you're gonna fertilize it too.
You're gonna fertilize it so you burn it up.
Burn it.
Or, jokes aside, or keeping staying serious at the same time. Whatever you don't talk about, whatever you hold inside, you let it out through drinking.
Something.
You let it out through smoking.
Something.
You let it out through sex.
Right.
You let it out sarcastically.
Oh yeah, sarcasm is a big one. One thing
that was one of my huge ones.
That used to be what we argued about the most when we were first married.
Yep.
Is any type of passive aggression is like, why don't you just say what you mean? Why don't you just say what you mean?
And for me, that's why I was passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Because I could say it. I'm trying to say it, but in a joking way, so that way if you get it, you get it. If you didn't get it, yes.
Yeah.
I still said it.
Yeah.
But I don't have the strength and I don't have the respect enough to come to you and tell you about it.
Right.
I'd rather pass it off to you like you just somebody. I'm like,
it's like a quick stab.
It's like a quick stab.
Like,
I want to stab you and I want to tell you, don't cry. Don't cry.
I was just joking under the guise of I was just joking.
I'm gonna stab you that didn't hurt.
Right.
That didn't hurt.
I hate that.
It's like, and that's another thing too. It's like I had to learn how to be respectful of your feelings. I know you're telling me it hurt, but I can't sit here and tell you what doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
I had to actually sit and like, you know what? Okay. Even though my intentions wasn't to hurt,
no,
I still hurt you.
Right.
And that's another thing that's powerful for couples to learn. Whether I think that shouldn't hurt, you're telling me it hurt.
Right.
So I need to understand it. That it hurt.
Yeah, because even though we're opposite individuals who have lived a certain amount of time apart and then came together. So you're gonna have different things, that get you concerned, different triggers, different things get you excited, so just basically in order to have a successful anything, you gotta honor the blessings God is giving, and you also gotta be able to build it. You gotta be able to build it up, because it's not like you get to one point right away, which would be perfect if you did. But if you didn't strive to learn the lesson, then you don't remember it as well.
A relationship, taking it back to lawn care, a relationship is just like lawn care. It needs maintenance. Mm-hmm. In the summertime, don't cut your grass for a whole month and see what happens.
Right.
It's the same thing in a relationship. Yeah. Don't maintenance your relationship and go on dates. Go find something new. Don't put out weed control for 6 months and see what happens. Don't get your lawn equipment serviced when it needs to be serviced. Stop putting 2-cycle engine oil in your weed eater and your hair trimmer and see what happens. When you stop maintaining your equipment, when you stop maintaining your lawn, when you stop maintaining your vehicle, you're gonna run into problems. When you keep putting those problems off for maintenance, you're making it worse. Yeah. That's no different from a relationship. Yeah. That's no different from anything. But I'm just trying to give those different,
I'm with you.
Giving different concepts to bring it back into, and still keep it in lawn care, because we are a lawn care channel. Yeah. But we have made it back home safely from this ridiculous weather. I'm gonna go plant some fertilizer, and then I'm sorry. I'm gonna put out some grass seeds.
He got to poop.
Yup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Go cut some grass.